Hello, my name is Cameron K. McEwan. I run a Doctor Who website called Blogtor Who.
And my name's Elisar Cabrera, and I do the video online live stream show called Talking Who, which hopefully some of you might have seen.
Yeah, I saw it once. It was great.
You just watch the ones that you're in.
Yes. So today we are discussing the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who. Fact fans may note that the 50th anniversary takes place 50 weeks today. This is 50 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Today, in 50 weeks, we'll all be getting ready to watch all the old Doctors coming back.
Let's hope so.
So we're going to discuss what people's thoughts are, what people's hopes and dreams are, aspirations. We've done a shout out on Twitter because we're lazy to get some
just
ideas.
to get the conversation started, absolutely. And
yep.
In fact, I could even read out one now. We've got from, his name is Marcus Lionel Judge, which is at Marcus_Judge.
Nice.
And he says he'd like to see all the Doctors to meet up, all the Doctors.
All of them?
Using CGI for the first three, as shown in the Laurel and Hardy sequence in Impossible Astro.
Mm.
But do you think they've got good enough CGI to do that?
You know, I got a book, you can do some chanting, necromancy, all good.
He said all I got there was all good.
No, he's got a book to do some necromancy. He wants to resurrect three of the Doctors.
That's taken a slightly unfortunate turn.
Well, we had zombie Daleks. Could we have zombie Daleks?
Zombie Doctors, that would be good, actually. The Walking Doctors. Zombie Doctors would be fun, I think.
But generally, I think the feeling is, I think most fans would probably expect, is that right, some kind of multi-Doctor story?
Yeah. The new three. Just the new three? Oh, okay, so who would prefer to see...
Let's get an opinion on, if there was just one classic Doctor, who would it be? McGann is quite popular. McGann would make the most sense, wouldn't it, though? Because he's the kind of the bridge between both. And of course, you know, Time Crash did create a situation where you can have an older looking Doctor.
Yeah.
So the seeds have been set.
They could rope out that old excuse again. If you do have a question or something to say, the microphone is in the middle of the room. You can shout, but if you want to come up and ask a question, don't wait, just come up and use the microphone.
Well, here's an interesting question.
Well, I've been tweeted.
Oh, you've got a tweet, have you? Okay.
So I asked what people's hopes and dreams were. Who on ice?
Who, as for the 50th, but that's ITV. It had to be strictly come who.
Wow. Interesting choice of words. Who on ice? Yeah, that would be fun. No? Somebody has simply tweeted Tennant, David Tennant.
What, Bond? James Bond.
I mean, would people think David Tennant would be a good call to come back to the 50th?
I think it'd be I think it's expected though, isn't it? I mean, I think if it wasn't, I think most people would be quite disappointed. I think it's like, he's the one out of everybody that you would, if there's going to be any kind of multi-Doctor, it's going to be him.
Yeah.
But the question is, just him, or will there be others?
Would it be better if it was just David Tennant by himself and no other Doctors? I'm being contentious here.
Being contentious. No, I think we've had two Doctors, we've had three Doctors, we've never had a four Doctors, we've had a five Doctors.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's something to look at. The first anniversary special was the three Doctors. That was the 10th anniversary back in '73, which got Troughton, Hartnell and Pertwee together. Somewhat successfully. It's not the greatest of stories, but it's a right old romp. And then you had the five Doctors, of course, which is one of my favourite Doctor Who stories, I have to say. The five Doctors, absolutely love it.
Well, what's not to love? It's got five Doctors in
Well,
it.
yeah, a lot of people give it a hard time, but I think Five Doctors is an amazing adventure. No?
It is. Yes.
The 30th anniversary was slightly less well celebrated with the Dimensions in Time story. Has anyone seen Dimensions in Time? Crossover with EastEnders.
Yeah, anyone seen it legally?
Legally? Well, yeah. It was not the greatest celebration of Doctor Who.
It was for charity.
You know, that doesn't cut it with me. Someone else has suggested a musical episode of Doctor Who.
Well, speaking of odd episodes, I mean, or
I
different
think
style,
speaking of
different
musicals
style
and
of
then-
episodes,
no.
what about a live episode? No?
That's limited.
They did the Quatermass.
Yeah, it was good,
Yeah.
but there was no special effects. Doctor Who has quite a few special effects. I don't want to watch a guy typing at a computer for 10 minutes to get the TARDIS to move. As fun as that may be.
I'm
so
not sure about a musical
Are
episode.
you poo-pooing the musical episode?
I'm saying no to the music.
I think a musical episode would be great. No? No? This man is saying no very loudly. Do you not like music, sir?
I like music, but I don't like musical episodes being forced in.
Forced in? Wow.
It would have to be forced in. I mean, unless they arrive on the planet of the singing aliens, that you can only
You see,
communicate via singing.
That's perfect. Russell T Davis writes it.
Very Russell T Davis, yeah.
Someone has asked for the return of the Zygons for the 50th anniversary.
Well, this has been rumoured now, even for the last 12 months, that somehow the Zygons will be coming back, but
Well-
we've not seen any evidence as of yet, other than a couple of references.
Well,
You know, are they planting seeds?
There was in, is it the Power of Three? Technically, I think we see Zygons in human form. Technically we have returned. The Ice Warriors is something else that people want to see for the 50th.
Do we think this is one of the strongest rumours for the next year, for 2013? Ice Warriors. There's a lot of proof. Yeah.
A lot of proof.
What's this proof? Well, let's hear your proof.
Oh, one.
One at a time.
There's a, I don't know if I can say what the proof is. There's a lot of good and strong speculation around at the moment, especially some of the memes.
Sir, you said proof.
Strong speculation.
No more questions, Your Honour. Sorry, the lady at the back was saying. I know.
He did. He did. Yes, he was
He
very
did.
cagey about the Ice Warriors.
He was very cagey with the Ice Warriors. So they're coming back, is that what?
Well, again, if you're bringing back a classic monster, which one hasn't had a proper return out of all those big bad guys? We've had them all except the Ice Warriors.
Pterodactyls? Someone's tweeted me they want to see the pterodactyls meet the Sontarans. That's a musical episode. The Rani, the return of the Rani for the 50th?
Rani, yes.
No, shaking his
definitely
head
silence
no.
for the Rani.
Oh, jeez.
Too many rumours about Rani, various different Ranis,
Yes.
Gillian Anderson, all these,
Yeah.
which all came to nothing. So I think we've all sort of fed up with Rani rumours, aren't we?
Yeah. For the 50th, at the moment it looks like we're just getting one special, which I assume will be broadcast on November the 23rd as it falls on a Saturday. And we have 8 episodes, is that right? 8? Yeah, 8 episodes starting in April next year. Do you think there could be more episodes in between or specials after?
Well, of course, there's going to be a Christmas. They've not said anything about
Well-
what would Christmas Day be without Doctor Who, so there has to, and that'd still be 2013.
Yeah, yeah, they haven't announced the Christmas special yet, but yeah.
Does anyone actually think that we might actually see a regeneration in 2013?
One person
Split.
said yeah.
We have to, no, there's a few yeses and nos.
How about
Would we like to see a regeneration in 2013? Oh, wow, okay. Is that just yes because it would be nice to have a regeneration, or yes because you want to move on from Matt Smith as quickly as possible?
Yes.
Oh, dear.
What's wrong with Matt Smith?
What's wrong with that?
Wow, you just don't like him.
Everyone has their own doctors.
That's very true. Do you mean as a person or as an actor?
I don't like him portrayed as a doctor.
Okay. So there's a man down the front doesn't like.
Okay, well, let's hear from someone who said no to a regeneration to counter this.
Yeah.
Let's be fair.
I think we'll see a regeneration, but I think it'll actually be the Master.
Ah,
Interesting.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Really? What about someone like, because one of the great actors, British actors, has never been in Doctor Who, Patrick Stewart. Wouldn't he be an amazing master? Come on. And a goatee even, he could do the goatee.
I think he'd be very engaging. I heard one person laugh at that gag. I don't even watch Star
Okay,
Trek.
well, on the subject of casting, we've also got the special, which will be about the making of how Doctor Who first started, written by Mark Gatiss, the genesis of Doctor Who. Gatiss, okay. Who should be William Hartnell?
Bill Nye.
A bit too tall?
Yeah, he's quite tall. He could be good.
Quite a lot too tall.
You could see G's legs off.
Or everybody else could just be a bit taller.
Yeah. Derek Jacobi.
Derek Jacobi, yeah.
Christopher Lloyd. Interesting. What about the guy that, I can't remember his name, he played the questionable old man in the dinosaur episode this year?
Oh, that's
David somebody?
David, yes. David Bradley.
David Bradley. He would be quite an interesting William Hartnell.
Yes, because he's always playing crotchety old men in anything he ever does on television, isn't he? So it wouldn't be too much of a stretch.
Going back to Twitter and the question that I asked, what would you like to see for the 50th? Someone has tweeted a new showrunner.
Controversial. Controversial. I know you'd like to see that. I would not like to see this.
Where did that come from?
Well,
Stephen Moffat has written some excellent stories.
I'm glad you said that. I've been trying to convince you that for a long time.
Yeah, a few years ago even. I'm joking, of course. When I found out we were doing this panel on the 50th, some of you may know if you follow me on Twitter that I occasionally have conversations with people in the production team and involved with Doctor Who. So I emailed and said, can we get a quote from some people? Not
breaking news.
Yeah, it's breaking news, thanks. I wasn't looking for spoilers, just for what their hopes and dreams were, and just a couple of sentences on the 50th. So I got a reply. I won't say who from, but they said they're not allowed to talk about it. So that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's official. They can't talk about it.
Okay, but I expect you've got obviously Doctor Who itself. You're going to have the drama about the creation of Doctor Who. But what other kind of Doctor Who stuff should the BBC be thinking about doing? Do you think?
Who on Ice?
But that's ITV. You can't do Who on Ice.
You can do Who on Ice. Doesn't need to. That's Who Ice. No, it doesn't need to be.
I mean, if any of the classic Doctors are not going to be in the actual program, should they be involved in any other programs to do around the 50th anniversary? Do we want to see a reunion of all the Doctors, perhaps on some sort of panel show or some documentary, or
Put all the old Doctors in a Big Brother style house?
there you go.
Yeah.
Of course, Colin Baker's got the most experience. He'll probably walk it.
Yeah. Colin Baker, what one was he?
He was your favourite 80s Doctor.
Oh yeah. So any thoughts on, other than the special, that the BBC could celebrate the 50th?
Doctor Who audios.
Doctor Who audios. Well, there is going to be some audios, I believe, and I think the first one comes out in January and is actually set before An Unearthly Child, and Caroline Ford is doing that. And then I believe the series of audios will feature each of the Doctors. So January is with Hartnell, Troughton is February, and they'll be running up until November.
Yep, it's called Destiny of the Doctor, and it starts in January. So I don't know if the whole story is going to lead into
Like
to
an
one.
arc or-
Yeah,
okay.
but it's called Destiny of the Doctor. That's from BBC. From BBC Audio. They could do animations too.
Of course, we've got the animation of Reign of Terror coming out. Anyone looking forward to Patrick Troughton's story, Reign of Terror? No, William Hartnell's story.
Ooh.
See, I'll just slip that in just see if anyone noticed. Honest, Gov. Yes.
One person's looking forward to it. I'm sure the DVD guys will be very happy about that. I've actually seen it. I got a preview copy a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, it's excellent.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
The
that.
animation's very good. It's not a very good story, but it's good.
Okay, well, if they could bring back one lost story as an animation, and just one more, what would it be? Power of Daleks?
Web of Fear.
Web of Fear?
Man in the Back.
Marco Polo?
What did you say at the front, sorry? Evil of the Daleks.
Master Plan, yeah.
Yeah, took a while.
It'll take a while to make that one, but yeah, no, these are all the big stories.
There are rumours of past stories having episodes, like the Underwater Menace, I think, is one that's thinking of.
Yes, do you think they're keeping a lid on any new ones that they've actually found, but they haven't actually announced them yet? Maybe we're waiting for the 50th anniversary?
Well, I doubt it, but it would be nice if they suddenly announced, yeah, we found all these episodes.
Well, because they might want to see how much restoration work is needed and whether or not they're
That's
actually
true.
worth anything.
Possible.
Do you have a choice of a particular story you'd like to see? If it could return?
Probably maybe the Crusades in its whole. Although there's how many episodes?
Is that the
is this?
politically incorrect one?
Hmm?
Is that a politically incorrect one?
I don't think
Crusade?
so. I don't think it's. I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, I'm not that bothered about seeing old stories redone. I mean, if they find them, that's fine, but reanimate them, I'm not too bothered, to be honest. Something like Shada would be interesting to see, the Tom Baker story, which is coming out on DVD in January, but they haven't filled in the episodes. It's just Tom Baker's narration from the original VHS, which is interesting. If you've seen it, it's a fascinating watch.
Okay, and anything else that people would like to see? I mean, you know, we are hoping that the BBC really sort of throws their weight behind a real whole year of Doctor Who events. And
How about crossovers with other TV shows?
ooh, okay, not EastEnders.
Not EastEnders, okay, well, we'll put that in the back burner, we'll put a pen in EastEnders. Any shows that Doctor Who could cross over with? What one, sorry?
Merlin. Well, he is Merlin, of course.
Of course, yeah.
The Doctor is actually Merlin.
A crossover with Merlin. I've never seen Merlin, so I don't know. Would that be good?
I have not seen it either. No.
Oh, right. Wow. Well, go Merlin.
But I think it could be fun, you know, why not?
Yeah.
But then Merlin's finishing, so they don't need to promote it really, do they?
How about Sherlock? Do you think Doctor and Sherlock could share a screen?
Oh, could they? Would that be just too much awesomeness on screen in each frame?
I think they could do like a Children in Need special or a comic relief special where they
Trying to
both
outdo each other.
Yeah.
Who would do it? Who would be better?
New Tricks.
New Tricks.
I've never seen New Tricks either.
Waterloo Road.
Waterloo Road. Interesting. How about an American show?
Doctor Who meets them.
Doctor Who and the Muppets. That would be brilliant.
I would actually pay money to go to the cinema to see Doctor Who meets the Muppets.
Because Matt Smith kind of looks like a Muppet. I don't mean that in a derogatory way.
Come on, give Blogtor some booze for that.
He's got a funny face. He's the first to admit it. No? Everyone went silent there. No, his face is fine, I do apologise.
Okay, what about any returning companions for the 50th anniversary? Let's talk companions. Do you think any past companions should come back? And if so, Captain Jack? Susan, yeah? Adric.
Who said Adric?
Ian Chesterton would be awesome, I think. Anything that goes right back, I think, to Trotter's Lane would be awesome.
I think it would be really, because he initially was meant to be in Modern Undead, the part that the Brigadier played, but I think it would be brilliant to see William Russell back, because he's looking great. I saw him, there's a documentary on the Reign of Terror DVD, and he's interviewed, and he's still in great form. I mean, he's kicking 80, but he's...
Unfortunately, though, in the Sarah Jane Adventures, they've put this thing that somehow he still looks exactly the same, which was a shame.
Well, I mean, I don't want to be the pedant, but it's not stated as fact. They said, I heard, she said, just to...
Well, that's Doctor Who, there's no such thing as canon, really, anyway.
Yeah. Sorry, so who did say Adric? Was that a series suggestion?
Yeah.
Was that a series?
Why not? You know.
Bring him back as evil. He was evil before.
Oh, come on. Adric was great. Admit it.
Any Adric fans here, out of curiosity? Any people who are not Adric fans here? Yeah. Any people don't know who Adric is? Yeah. So it's about third. I wouldn't like
Adric did die, for those who don't know who Adric is. And it was kind of the...
It was a great death, spoilers. Very satisfying. They didn't play the music over the end credits, which was such a... Jenny, yeah, the Doctor's daughter.
Jenny.
Yeah.
Bring back Dodo.
Bring back Dodo. Old skill. Of course, Susan. Did anyone say Susan?
Yes, we had a Susan.
Yeah. Susan.
And do we, if they did bring Susan, do we want it clarified that she is a blood relation, or just that she's some sort of an adopted or a ward or something? Do you want her to actually really be a blood relation granddaughter? Yeah.
Of course that. Why wouldn't you want that?
Well, you know, because it's Time Lords. Who knows how they do it?
Are you referring to Rumpy Bumpy?
I am indeed.
I think it would be great because then she could regenerate.
Well, she could, absolutely, and become a regular character.
Yeah.
Who would she regenerate into? Who could be a new... Because we don't even know what her real name is. Susan obviously is just being an Earth name, so she could be enrolled into school.
She could regenerate into Clara. She could regenerate into Eve Miles. The Eve Miles is a real person. Yeah, that would be good. And Caroline Ford's still around, still looking great.
Indeed, yeah.
She could do it. Any other suggestions for our past companions? Katie Manning.
Katie Manning. Of course, we had her at Sarah Jane Adventures, and that was... Did you enjoy that episode?
I did very much.
The Doctor,
yeah, she was brilliant. She was really good. Really nice seeing her. I'm not a big Joe Grant fan, to be honest.
Of course, the other rumours was if Sarah Jane Adventures had continued, was Ace may have actually come back.
Really?
But, yeah.
Did you just making that up?
No. It's in
that true?
It's in Doctor Who magazine special on Sarah Jane Adventures.
That's interesting. Well, I know Russell.
Sophie herself actually said she had a conversation with Russell about it.
Ah. Yeah, because he was very fond of her character. She gets mentioned in Sarah Jane Adventures.
Yeah.
She was referenced.
Ace as a returning companion for the 50th?
Any Ace fans here? Yes.
Lots of Ace fans.
I was never a fan of Ace, to be honest.
That's because you're rubbish.
Wow.
You don't like anything good.
I'm at a Doctor Who convention, man. I like everything that's good. Well, I was of an age where she didn't seem that cool, to be honest. Is that a bad thing to say?
Yeah, she was good. Ace was good. They had a great relationship. The Seventh Doctor and Ace was a great friendship.
Okay. How about Mel, Bonnie Langford?
Poor Bonnie Langford. Come on.
I mean, she was vivacious.
No, she wasn't.
Intelligent. She was
Scream her
intelligent.
head off and annoy the hell out of all the women in the audience. Everybody liked Ace because she actually had some guts, whereas you used to watch all the other companions and think, oh, for God's sake, stop fucking screaming, excuse my language.
Whoa! She dropped the F-bomb.
Do something useful.
Can we get a swear bleep out here? Wow.
Sorry, guys. There's no kids in the audience, are there?
There's a few.
Sorry, children, don't use that word, it's naughty.
Yeah, so...
You try growing up as a girl and watching Doctor Who and thinking...
Sorry.
I'm sorry,
but Mel was an intelligent character. She knew her maths,
yeah, but
and,
she was
science
useless.
and stuff.
She was useless.
She could work things out. She just happened to be scared of a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but it was...
Oh my God, the door's
She
open.
used to annoy the hell out of me. I don't know how all the other women in the audience felt. We might have watched her and thought...
What about the men in the audience? Is it okay if she annoys them?
I actually stopped watching Doctor Who when she was in it because I couldn't stand her.
Really?
I really hated her.
Wow.
She just used to annoy the hell out of me.
The H word.
So, any fans of Mel in the audience?
Yes. Come on, let's hit a case for Mel, please.
Attractive, number one. Misogyny in the room. Excellent. She was the Carol Vorderman of her time.
Well, that's true. She was.
Even though Carol Vorderman was around in the 80s.
I can't take him seriously. His favourite Doctor Who story is Paradise Towers.
Oh, God.
Paradise Towers has some awesome robots.
No, you were right the first time. Awful.
I mean, Lobster swimming lobster monster was brilliant. Come on.
Yeah. How about Perry to come back? No?
No.
Hmm?
Yeah?
Perry?
Tegan.
Tegan.
Tegan. There must be Tegan fans. Come on.
Yeah, I love
Really?
Tegan.
Look, women like Tegan, the men are saying no.
I love Tegan.
That's an interesting split there.
What? Sorry? Turlo. Nice.
So Turlo was, you know, one of the most interesting companions, was he not?
Well, for a while.
There was mystery around him.
There was.
You didn't have to know about his parents or...
If you watch any of his stories, you'll see that as an actor, every scene he turns round in his first few stories. Every scene he's in, he always turns round. True fact.
Is that the equivalent, his equivalent of the Joey Tribbiani smell the fart acting?
Oh dear. First the F-bomb and now you're dropping farts? Elisar. How about some new Who companions?
Donna.
Alonso.
I tell you who I liked out of the new Who companions, who I think got a bit of a raw deal, is Adam.
Adam. Oh, we count him as a companion.
Hey, he travelled with them. I think that counts, doesn't it not?
No.
I mean, we've got...
Hitchhiker.
What about Mickey Smith? He got a raw deal
Yeah.
too. I mean, we must love Mickey Smith here, yeah? There's Mickey fans here. And Noel Clarke was great, isn't he?
No? Wow. So if people wanted Donna to come back, that would be good, I think.
Do you want her memory to be restored?
I think...
Really?
Yeah.
Is it?
No.
Do you feel there's a lack of closure there? Isn't that what Doctor Who is usually about? Lack of closure.
All right, Freud.
He always moves on.
I've got a crossover with a companion as well.
Okay.
Crossover with Chuck's Guide to the Galaxy. Have Arthur Dent picked up on TARDIS?
Arthur Dent,
Arthur Dent.
Hitchhikers.
Is he still alive?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. I'm not.
In real life?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still alive. Well, as of now.
Tweet just came in.
That would be a good crossover, Hitchhikers and Doctor Who, because they do seem to live in a similar world.
Yeah. Well, there's also Blake 7. Bringing back Blake 7.
Yeah. I don't think this is the right forum to mention Blake 7. Personally speaking.
Well, Sean was telling me earlier that apparently the Daleks were supposed to be in Blake 7.
Well, there's Termination, I suppose. That would have been interesting. I suppose. It looks like we've got a queue. Right.
You could bring back Donna for the 50th because she's never seen the 11th Doctor, so that wouldn't restore any memories. And I was going to say they should bring back Leela. Don't know if I said that, so I just came in. But
Okay.
Leela should be brought back.
Okay, so two things there.
Well, Leela, of course, invites another question, of course, because Leela was on Gallifrey.
Okay.
If she was still there, would we want to see the return of Gallifrey properly?
Only if it's like it was in the 80s.
Well, we've got a kind of a consensus for a return of Gallifrey. I mean, Time Lord stories.
Yeah, I would personally prefer not, because when they've gone down the route of Gallifrey-related stuff in the past, it hasn't panned out that well, in my opinion. I'm sure the new writers they have could do a great job, but I quite like the fact that there's not a lot of Time Lords, because if you do have Gallifrey and Time Lords, it asks another question, that if they're in control.
Well, one of the, of course, the other rumours of the stories that are in the next half of season 7, of course, is the journey to the centre of the TARDIS.
Yes.
And potentially the return of the Eye of Harmony, which controversially was in the Paul McGann story, because it's supposed to be on Gallifrey.
Wow, you just dropped like a whole load of...
More rumours. What do you think of this one?
The Eye of Harmony should not really in the TARDIS, so... Despite what the Paul McGann movie might say, it said a lot of things, frankly, that weren't true.
Probably stole that as well.
Yeah. So the Leela would, I think that would be good. She married.
Of course, she's still got a K9 with her as well. One of the various K9s.
That's true. But yeah, so Donna could meet the 11th Doctor and everything would be fine. Just going back to what the lady said.
Indeed. Yeah, I think.
You don't seem to like Donna much.
No, I actually really loved Donna as a companion. I thought out of the Tennant companions, she was probably the best.
Really?
But I was kind
You know
of...
Billy Piper's here tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Well, we're looking at
I'm just going to phone her.
each to his own, you know.
Yeah,
You'll have a favourite. But you know, they did her story, and they gave her an ending. It wasn't a happy ending, but they gave her an ending. You know.
She got 2 endings, neither of which were happy. I just want to see her back. Yeah, I was a big fan of
There's
Donna.
another question coming up.
But before that, with Donna though, you get Wilf as well. I think we'd all like to see Wilf back in the TARDIS. He was great.
He was, yes.
That's we can all agree on that.
Bernard, come on.
Yeah.
You can do no wrong.
I'm sure we can. Yeah, sorry.
And moving away from companions, I'd quite like BBC to try to do something with the fandom, because arguably fandom is behind the biggest success with all the fan films and audios and sites and podcasts. I feel that they need to do something with the fandom next year, kind of somehow promote it and allow a wider audience to see that it's not just some kids in their bedroom making Doctor Who fan films with weird action figures and stuff like that. They need to kind of show that there's some real talent out there.
That's an interesting point. The BBC, I know, are very aware of fandom and what it creates. When I was, and I don't want to seem like I'm name dropping here, but when I was out in Paris with Murray Gold, Carol Skinner, Chris Chibnall, they were given this book by fans that had these beautiful illustrations of Doctor Who illustrations, and immediately they were like, this would be great as a proper published book. So they see them all the time because they're out seeing the fans all the time, so they do see it and they are aware of it. The problem is it's the BBC. They are incredibly slow to act on things sometimes, despite the best intentions of the people involved. This is from people I know that work at the BBC and on Doctor Who.
And of course it crosses different departments, because you've got the BBC, you've got drama, you've got the press department, you've got BBC Worldwide, you've got BBC Worldwide's press department. There's a lot of interests.
Yeah, I mean, running the site that I deal with dozens of different people at the BBC. Who seem to change quite a lot as well. But so I think logistically it would be difficult. But the people who make the show are well aware of it. And at the convention in Cardiff early this year, there was a lot of invention from fans that got noticed by, Stephen Moffat and Matt Smith. So they are well aware. And Matt Smith, of course, here in June, was it? He saw a lot of fan stuff. But when it comes to films and things, the BBC can't really do much about it due to copyright from certain issues, depending on what the film is. But it would be nice to see if they could do sort of license a Doctor Who fan film competition or something along those lines.
The animator for the Reign of Terror DVD, I believe, was actually a fan who made a fan animation, which was just fantastic. I don't know if you ever saw it, but it featured the third Doctor meeting two versions of the Master, lots of Cybermen. And it was set in Japan.
Yeah, brilliant.
And it was fantastic, and I believe they actually politely asked them to take it down due to copyright infringement, but at the same time, do you want a job? Because you're amazing.
It's not a bad way to get a gig. So yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I'd love to see more the BBC try and promote it, but this would be the year for it to happen, certainly. But there's a long way to go before November, so you never know.
I'm sure we'll see lots of Doctor Who fans on game shows, hopefully.
Yeah, well, the other thing is with Blue Peter as well, they do get fans, so there might be a lot of Blue Peter related things for the kids. Yeah, next, thanks.
We'd like to bring the kids back from Sarah Jane. And like I say,
sorry?
Elizabeth Sladen is dead.
To bring back the kids?
Yeah.
I think that would be great, because Tommy, he was in Doctor Who even at the end of time, but the other two didn't get a chance, unfortunately, and Journey's End, of course. But I think it would be great to see the kids, because they're really good, and they do have that kind of Doctor Who kind of vibe about them.
Yeah.
And it's a shame to see them, although the show ended, it would be great to see them in that universe still continuing. And I think both Rani and Clyde would make brilliant companions in the TARDIS, because it's a different dynamic, I think, to a lot of the companions that we've had the last couple of years.
Do we want to see the whole idea of two companions continuing, or are we all happy with one female? Or do we like the male-female dynamic?
Three companions
Three companions. Do you want to see three companions?
Well,
just one over there. Yeah.
It worked in the 60s, worked in the 80s.
Yeah.
No, I'll say worked. It happened. Yeah, I like the three ones interesting. And of course there was Rory and, no, that was only two. Technically River, okay. But there was Ian, Susan and Barbara, and they were a great team. And it worked amazingly well, and the stories really, especially when they got to 6 and 7 parters, were really helped by the fact these characters were very good and they were great actors. And of course in the Davison years you had Tegan and Nissa and Adric. Sorry. And again it worked differently because they were like kids. I always thought in the 80s Peter Davison was the equivalent of like a single father trying to raise his kids and then killing one of them.
And was Tegan then kind of like the wife that he's having problems with? Cause
no, she's one of the kids.
You think she's one of the kids?
Yeah.
Really?
She was like a teenage brat. And I mean that in a good way. I think she's brilliant. Tegan's one of my favourites. Yeah.
In the past, Doctor been brought back as sort of like a time thing. So he's met his own self in the past. How about in meeting his other David Tennant Doctor, who's not actually a Doctor anymore, with Rose?
Ah, the alternative Doctor.
Yeah. Anyone want to see 10.5? I mean, that means you could take...
Are you wearing a wedding dress in case David Tennant might want to ask you? Is anyone here a vicar that can actually perform a ceremony, if in case?
The internet is there, I'm sure we can get something together. Well, that could mean 2 David Tennants on screen.
Can the screen handle it?
I'm sure it could. It would be lovely to see that. I thought the point the gentleman was going to make was going ahead in his own time stream to visit a future incarnation of the Doctor, like the 12th Doctor. Yeah. That would be an interesting one, Matt Smith meeting the Doctor who isn't a Time Lord. But of course he'd have to get into that parallel universe, which he definitely can't get into anymore. Now it's really locked.
And then the floodgates open once you do that, don't they?
Yeah. But it'd be an interesting one. It'd be a bit confusing. But I'd like to see possibly seeing a future incarnation of himself. I think that was rumoured in the 5 Doctors there was possibly going to be like a Colin Baker, a snatch of, if you pardon the expression. But I don't think they've been doing that road because it's probably too confusing. But now, I think people, after Stephen Moffat's timey-wimey.
But could they keep that a secret?
No. They can't keep anything a secret in the BBC. Yeah.
One of the Gallifreyans, what they could have, I suppose, brought back is the meddling monk.
Meddling monk?
Yes, indeed, because he wasn't necessarily on Gallifrey. He was running around.
Meddling.
Meddling.
Exactly.
Not the time meddler, sorry. The celestial time maker, because the slightly with the tune of the Green Ward.
Yeah, thoughts? I mean, they're really old school villains. But it's always interesting to bring back.
They're fan favourites, and I think there are those single story baddies who just like the Zygons that just resonate with fans, and they just and you kind of want them to come back, and then they don't, and you're kind of disappointed.
Yeah.
And the Celestial Toy Maker is one of those characters that there's a huge, almost mythology around this. Was he a Time Lord? I don't know. Probably. Well, he was.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, they didn't invent Time Lords till after that story. It wasn't till the War Games they came up. Wasn't it War Games? Time Lords?
Yes.
War Games, yeah. Thank you. Yes.
I've got a few sort of points again.
Excellent.
But someone was saying that they should bring back all the sort of living doctors that they've got alive at the moment. And I know there are a lot of sort of comments made about how they've aged since they played the Doctor. And I can't remember where I read it now, but someone suggested that they take sort of the younger doctors and they put prosthetics on them to age them and have some sort of tiny...
So everybody's aged.
I mean, that would make more sense than trying to
Everyone's
the
old.
ones that young.
Everyone's old.
But we also know that when the 10th Doctor gets old, he sort of becomes really small as well, with a giant head. which is really odd thought as well.
They could make them all like that. And like,
they're all CGI.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to pay any. You have to pay any of the actors. They could all just be CGI.
Yeah. That would be an interesting way to get around it. But there is that line in Time Crash that the time differential or whatever it is that shorts out. I just think, and this is maybe not a popular thing to say, but as we've only got 5 minutes left, I might as well. And I'm not so keen on seeing the older Doctors come back.
Because you're wrong, like you say. You are wrong.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I just want to see a good story. I don't really...
Good, yeah.
Yeah. You know, it would be nice. I don't really care about people coming back. I just want to see something that's going to be entertaining. So if it was Matt Smith with Jenna, that for me that'd be fine, as long as it was a great story. And then
I don't want Rose to come back. I know everyone's a big fan of Rose, but
you know,
I think she's been overused coming back.
She's had her story, yeah. It's those characters like Susan where there's like these big question marks. I guess people want some kind of answer.
I would say that, although you say that her story is finished, it's not, because the idea of Rose settling down with a man who's a copy of the original one is deeply distressing, and it has many, many things that go on that say that this isn't quite right to me as an adult. Using my brain, there's something not quite right about that relationship, and it's doomed to fail. But that's just me.
The fact that they even brought her back again to do that just took away from her, really, to begin with, I feel. But
I like the idea of her, you know, coming back. I thought it was nice the way they did it, breaking through the walls of time, and she looked good with the gun, if you'll pardon the expression. But I'm not big on returning people. But having said that, I love the 5 Doctors. But if it's good, I just want to see a good story. That's where, and then the Doctor dies at the end, and that's the end of Doctor Who forever.
Do you think the ninja robots from 5 Doctors should come back?
The Raston Warrior robot. I would love to see the Raston Warrior robot back. It looked great then, and it looks great now.
Of course, you could do it now with just full CGI, and they'd be like super.
You're obsessed with CGI. Why can't we do things real? Did you have something else?
my last one was, I think they've got to put something in there really, the nod towards Sarah Jane and the loss of Elizabeth Sladen. And I was thinking they could bring Mr. Smith back into it in some way, because he's able to connect through to the TARDIS between him and K9.
Yeah.
I thought without actually bringing back any characters into it and having to do all the complex stuff, that would have been a nice way to sort of even let the Doctor acknowledge the fact that Sarah Jane is now gone.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting one, the idea of acknowledging that the character...
Because they have, with Brigadier, when
yeah.
Scotland died.
Possibly they might do that, I don't know. Yeah, it wouldn't be a bit of a downer, but I like the idea of Mr. Smith
So much less complex.
being in it. Yeah, and I think if you could have Mr. Smith into the kids...
and K9.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I have 3 things I want for the 50th anniversary.
3?
3 major things and a lot of small things. I want a return to Planet Midnight, because I want to see what will happen there with Matt Smith if he goes there, and try to fix something or anything. I want Vashta and Rada back, because I think they're just the best monster in Doctor Who. And I want an episode with all of the Cybermen, all the old ones.
Ah. Well, you're interesting. The Midnight Planet. Midnight was a great episode, one of my favourite Doctor Who stories, probably of all time. And you mentioned the Vashta Narada. Now that's an invisible monster, and we don't see the Midnight monster. So you've got a thing for monsters you can't see. Yeah.
There's one behind you. You just can't see.
Yeah, seeing the old Cybermen, that would be an interesting war. A Cyberman civil war would be fun. No?
The Mondas ones can wipe out the Cybers ones for good.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Do you not like the Cybers ones?
Well, they're not really Cybermen, are they?
No, they're not. They're Cybersmen, of course. And one final question before we end.
Yeah, I was talking to Georgia Moffat, and she was saying that...
Is she here?
No,
Oh.
I saw her
on the phone.
in Glasgow a couple of years back,
and she said she'd love to redo a character as Doctor's daughter again. But I was also actually disappointed we never got as many episodes this year as Fandom. I mean, we only got 5 this year,
Well,
but we 13.
Do we feel cheated that they've actually taken one series and then cut it in half and claim it's going to be a 2012 series and a 2013 series?
He's not cut it in half, he's doing 5 this year and 8 next year. And I think we've been cheated.
Yeah, that's not cutting in half. That's
no, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
they've taken one series and said, okay, this is the 2012 series and this is your 2013 series.
Yeah.
And actually, there's 13 episodes that we've kind of been cheated out of.
Yeah.
Is that the general consensus? People feel cheated that? Yeah. Well.
Yeah. I mean, this is what happens when you take on 2 series. You know, he's doing Sherlock and he's now screwing us over. Sorry, it's true. He really is messing us about it. Well, we've got a week.
So he's got to. He can't deliver on Doctor Who or Sherlock. They're all going to be like.
Well, he's a busy man, and he had to pull out of Tintin, didn't he?
Yeah.
He took on Doctor Who from Russell's mantle, so you know.
Budgets are tight, and they're just cutting. And,
yeah.
And one of the cuts was 13 episodes of Doctor Who, unfortunately.
I really don't like the idea of cutting it into, you know.
Well, what we're faced with is, this year we had 5, next year it looks like it's 8, and then a special.
Yeah. Of course, I always believe in the old Japanese proverb, thing not broken, no fix. You know, and it's done well with 13 episodes. I don't see why we should have to cut back.
Do you think they should just call the next series Series 8 rather than 7.1 and 7.2?
I really don't see much point.
Yeah, it's a complex issue. One of the things that confuses I'm not going to go into this story because it's too long, but yeah, there are conflicting stories everywhere. But yeah, I think getting 5 episodes this year and 8 episodes next year we should feel cheated because Doctor Who is one of the most popular shows the BBC has and it makes them loads of money. It was #1 on iTunes in the States last year. Surely there's money somewhere coming in and they can keep making episodes. But if they're good episodes, I suppose it doesn't matter, but it does feel in the lead up that they should be trying to do more to get people excited about the show.
And especially the 50th anniversary coming up.
Yeah. It must be confusing for people who are maybe not fans like people here that just enjoy watching Doctor Who and you get 5 episodes and then it's over.
Yeah.
Because I even had people tweeting me, who I assume are Doctor Who fans, after 5 episodes saying, what's this? Why is it only 5 episodes?
Yeah.
Like, I don't make the show, but I think it's a mistake, but that's what happens.
Yeah.
I'm afraid we don't have anyone from the BBC on hand to answer why. Well, thank you so much, Darren, for your questions.
Thank you. That was really interesting.
Now we're going to watch a film. Is the film ready to go? Because I'm introducing a film, Elisar.
Are you asking me to leave then? Get off
No, I'm just introducing it and then we can go together. Is it ready to go? I'll do my introduction so you're going to see a film. It's a documentary. This is the world premiere. One person would. The world premiere of a documentary about the life of John Pertwee.
And when will this be released?
This will be released on the Spearhead from Space Blu-ray.
And when will that be released?
It's summer,
June, July, I think. I think it's June. So you're actually going to see this 6 months before anybody else will actually get to see this. So.
I've had the pleasure.
Quite a coup.
It is, and tomorrow we have another world premiere. The maker of the documentary about to see couldn't be here today. He is shooting a documentary for CBBC, which is brilliant, and it's. I think a lot of Doctor Who fans might watch it because it's got a few links. That's all I'll say, but it's great. So he wanted to be here today, but he's going to be here tomorrow along with Dan Hall from the Doctor Who DVD range, who will answer your questions. So if there's anything you see today, please do take note, and then you can ask at the panel tomorrow. So the one we're watching today is about John Pertwee. The reason why I'm introducing it is because the director, Chris, asked me to put a shout out on my site for archive footage, photos and audio of John Pertwee, which he got inundated with. So
and these are fan videos.
Yeah, these are
some fans have actually got their footage in this video.
In a Doctor Who documentary.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and they're all thanked at the end. He's doing a Caroline John documentary as well, and again he's asked for fans, because a lot of people went to conventions and things and will have pictures that maybe no one has ever seen, and certainly audio footage and video footage. So that's what's been used. Fans have helped to create this documentary.
Was anyone lucky ever to meet John Pertwee here?
Briefly.
Yeah, I've got actually. I've got a Wurzel Gummidge autograph from him.
Really?
Yes, which
wow.
Which is I'm very proud of.
Wurzel Gummidge. This documentary is about John Pertwee, but it's about his life as opposed to Doctor Who, because the Doctor Who DVD range has really covered a lot of John Pertwee in Doctor Who. So this is mainly about his life before and after, and you'll see some familiar faces, but it's quite a personal account because you can tell that the people he worked with were close friends. Are we ready to go? So this is the world premiere of the documentary. I hope you enjoy it. It's really good, and as I say, the makers and the producers will be along tomorrow to answer any questions. From now, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.